Hi everybody, it's Erin here. Okay, so we're going to tap in, we're going to draw out some forms, 3 different choices here, 3 different columns. And we're just going to have you tap into the numbers, okay? So, number 1, number 2, sorry for the squeaking, and number 3. Okay, so those are your 3 choices here. So just start to tap in, all right? And I apologize, it's a little bit shadowy. I'm recording this in the afternoon, so you're gonna see a little bit of shade here, but that might help a little bit. Maybe I'll pull these over to the side, okay, for right now. Okay, so if you need more time, beyond right now, because I'm going to start drawing. We're going to start with number 1, but if you need more time to select what number or what column is resonant for you, we're tapping in, of course, to your intuitive guidance for the week ahead. So I'm going to start drawing. So if you need more time, go ahead and put the video on pause, okay? So let's take a look here. I'm going to start with number 1. It's a little bit squeaky, so I apologize for that. I don't know how to not have it squeak. So I'm just tapping in, so we'll talk about it in a minute, okay? So there's some words coming to me, and I'm making notes because I want to make sure that we talk about it. And if you can't read it right now, let me just see if you can see everything. If you can't read it, we'll go ahead and talk about it. Okay. I think this is it for number 1. Okay, so if you selected number 1, the first thing that came was ultimately what became an egg. So the shape was in the foreground. It's tilting or tipping, which is the word that I wrote here. So this is an egg, okay? And the egg is in this roiling, not boiling, but roiling. Now, I would ask you to look up roiling. I'm not exactly sure what it means, but roiling, I think, is moving or turning, but I could be wrong. But the word roiling came up. So what this is like red boiling action. underneath the egg, which is tipping. So it's not upright and it's not down on top of the surface. It's at an angle. It's at an angle. You can, we're going to talk about this. There, you can also see the arrows going up to a horizon line with blue beyond it. And to be honest, what it felt like was not that it was necessarily a horizon line with blue sky behind it, but that the water was up above the horizon line versus, let's say, the ocean and then the horizon line with the sky. It was the opposite here. What does this mean for you? First of all, an egg is representing new birth, new growth. Something is in embryo. Something is ready to crack open and break open. And here we are, you know, we're approaching Easter. We're approaching spring in the Northern Hemisphere. And by the way, we're going to be talking about in the Astrological Weekly next week or the week after. I think it's next week. We're going to be talking about the new year, the new year cycle. But yeah, there's some energetics that are opening up, and there's a preparation here. What does the tipping mean? It's not reclined, it's not resting. The egg is not resting on the platform or on the surface. It's in action here, but it's in a stayed or a fixed point in the action of falling. Does that make sense, everybody? So the egg is not upright, it's not reclined, it's tilted, but it's not falling, it's just sitting tilted. So what does that mean? You know what I think that means, actually? For me, what I'm getting, of course, listen to your own inner guidance, but what I get with this is that you're not quite defeated with the idea for the new birth that you want to bring forward. You're not quite defeated, but you're not necessarily fully energized either. There's action within you. There's information within you. There's an urge within you to move. Some project, some new birth, some new story, some new path, some new action set. You're ready to take action, but yet it's almost like, you know, there's a little bit of self-doubt, there's a little insecurity. You're feeling the urge. You feel it in embryo. It's wanting to birth. You can see there's momentum forward. By the way, we're tapping into the week of March 8th. Okay, you're going to see that on the video title, but we're tapping in for this week. So this week there's a little bit of, you feel it, you see it. There is the urge to build something new, and there's optimism too. You can see a picture, some ideal picture in the background, in the future, which is talking about something bright, sunny, optimistic, something that is an expression of you, whatever this project is. Now, for some of you, this could be a child, right? For others of you, this is a project. And the project could be, by the way, home and property. The project could be career and work. The project could be with a relationship or something that it could be a collaboration, a teamwork thing. But there is the urge, and you're feeling the urge this week. You're understanding that, yes, there's a call to action. There's a little insecurity. You're wanting to propel forward. There's a little bit of self-doubt. You're kind of tilting downward, kind of reclining into things, maybe surrendering to certain hyper energetics that are going on. But there's forward movement, and there's the water above the horizon line. I mean, I think that what that means for me, for you, is that there's a lot of feeling, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of desire here, okay? A desire to make manifest up above the ground, seen, so everybody can see it. There's a desire to manifest a bigger version of yourself. For some of you, this is a child, but for others, it's a project. So there's something about you that you want to create, right? A project that you're building or creating, a course that you're building, whatever it might be that you're building and creating, that is a reflection of you. And the desire is, in fact, there. Under the surface of, if we're looking at this like a 2D image, there's a lot of upward momentum under the surface of the desire. And the thing is, if we are looking at this in a 2D orientation, a flat iteration, this is the ground, this is the water, but underneath the ground are the roiling red energetics with the push to create something external to you. The egg is large too, right? So this is a big idea. This is a big idea. This is something big and juicy that wants to be birthed. This week, you're feeling it, everybody. You're feeling it. And you might be also really sensing, we have the yellow egg and the yellow sun. So this big inner self wants to express itself. You want to be expressed in the world. The seed of who you are, the internal reality of who you are, your wisdom, your experiences, your story, your narrative, these things want to become expressed, okay? Okay, beauties, let's go on to number 2. All right, let me think about this for a minute. Let me just tap in for a minute. I'm just going to move some of these over here, I think. Okay, beauty. So let's take a look at this then. Okay. Let me make sure you can see everything. Yeah. Okay. So these big shapes, these big spiral shapes, right? 1, 2, 3. That was the first thing out. There's also these 3 lines here, which we'll talk about in a second. But these big spiral shapes going down with the arrow going up, right? So it went down. Ultimately, it became the earth at the base. So there's these huge spirals. Now, what I get from this for you, and again, you always want to pay attention to your own intuitive hits because, and I haven't said this before explicitly, but you all, I think, know, but this is to confirm that you are aware that each one of you watching these images, right? You will assess and see and intuit distinct aspects that are specific for your psyche, your consciousness, your story, and your process that will be different from anybody else, picking, for example, number 2. So honor your own intuitive hit, and there's no need to assert your position or your identification onto a collective truth, because that's not what this is about. Each one of these is specific to each one of you. But there are generalized archetypal themes that are coming through, right? So what I get is that there's these big revelations coming down from in the consciousness field, let's call it, in the etheric. Big revelations, big insights, being grounded. This is Earth. So for you as a distinct entity here as part of Earth, you are grounding. This is symbolic of some sort of an assimilation process. So revelations getting incorporated, getting grounded into your being, getting assimilated into your psyche. Something's getting grounded. This is inspiration. This is innovation. This is ideas, revelation, you name it. Now, there are these like pearls. This feels like pearls around the baseline. From the groundedness, there's energy driving action, some sort of action or decision. This can also be some sort of a response. So you get revelation, it grounds, there's an aha moment, there's pearls of wisdom that's somehow being circulated within your internal psyche, let's call it. So pearls of wisdom is you're holding it. But within this rooted assimilation, there's new motivation for outward expression, for a decision, for an action to be made. There are these 3 lines here. So this can be doubts, insecurities, thought processes, constructs that are limiting. So there's something here about limiting thoughts, limiting energetics, old patterns that are keeping your wisdom withheld, keeping it internalized. And it could be very well that this week there's simply more internalized processing for you to do. In fact, what I would say with these 3 lines, for some of you, there are pearls of wisdom, but before you're getting there are some decisions being made this week. There is some action happening for you this week. But with the 3 lines, there does seem to be indication that it's all right to, it might be that there's 3 weeks left or 3 months more of real honing, real discernment, real maturity of these revelatory ideas and innovations that you might have. And it's okay to contemplate, to review, right? So that's what I get. There are actions, decisions being made, but there's more juice in here. But from this assimilation this week, yes, something's happening. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's these 5, let's say, micro expressions from one of the let's say, the heightened revelation that you're assimilating here. So some initial revelation, and then a spiral deeper revelation, then a deeper one, then it gets assimilated. But from the initial revelation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's something here about 5. It could be that the revelation is connected to changes that's necessary for you now. It could be that the revelation that you get is connected to some creative solution that you're needing to tap into with regards to the ultimate action decision that is to be made. I hope that makes sense. Wonderful. Okay, beauty. So let's take a look at number 3. Let's take a look at number 3 here. Yeah, it seems like these charcoal pencils are squeakier this week. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why that is really. Okay. Wish I had some other blues here. There's not. It's funny how there's really only a couple blues. So I'm going to have to explain what a couple of these things are because, I mean, some of it I don't even recognize myself. But this is an ear here. 2 eyes and an ear above this water. Okay. Just give me a second here. I don't know if I'm done yet. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated, everybody. As of right now, I don't really know. Let's take a look at it. This feels done, but I don't yet know really how to explain it. So let me tap into it. I mean, the first thing we got was this kind of organic flowing, but clear formed 3 lumped thing. But what the thing is unknown. There's also these pink facets to it. So there's something, you know, we have the brown here. So there's something organic flowing. It's unfolding. And there's some delight here. Now, with the pink, there could be something very kind of archetypal, with pink representing a feminine person. So there could be like a couple of females in your life, a couple of women in your life that are significant to you, that are connected to something organic flowing with you this week. Now, what is that about? The organic process is linking down to this creature. The creature is a whimsical creature. There's these eyes that had these pointed, you know, these were not eyes that did this, right? These were eyes that were coming up like this. So the eyes are vertical. The eyes are vertical. They're looking up, or let's say they're aiming up and down. They're aiming vertically. What does this mean? They're aiming vertically. I mean, this is what I would get, actually. I think that, first of all, this is a whimsical, let's call it a beast or an entity. A whimsical entity. The expression looks a little bit more sad than what the thought was. The thought was that actually this was kind of a curious little beast. Okay, so there's a curiosity here. Not sad. It looks sad, but it's not sad. This is more of curiosity coming up and over. Now, we got something kind of similar last week, if I remember correctly. So kind of coming up and out, ready to come from deep depression, or coming up and out from being reclusive or isolated for a while. This might be somewhat connected to that theme. And for some of you, you might have even selected this twice, you know, this particular thing. But there's something here about the eyes, instead of looking laterally or side to side, in other words, this physical reality and that physical reality, looking comparatively, your life and another person's life, or this thing and another thing. It's like you're looking more spiritually. So you're focused more. This whimsical beast is talking about an aspect of you this week. So I think that you are the eyes, including your third eye, but your physical eyes are also going to be more oriented to focus its attention on etheric, on consciousness, on immaterial realities, right? As opposed to material, lateral, you know, 3D, 4D, 5D, etc. So there's something here about being focused or oriented vertically. Now, this can also talk about your future. So I think that you could be coming up and out from doing the deep dive, and see, in the water is this gold sphere. So there's something here about, in your deep dive, in your isolation, there has been gold that you have extricated, that you've been able to access. There's been wisdom and knowledge in there. You've been able to sense in and feel into your inner world, to your inner reality, and as within, so without. So when you get tighter and more relational and connected within, you are connecting to the deeper macrocosmic truths. So the orientation here, as you come up and out from maybe a period of depression or a period of isolation, is more spiritually aligned, and it's more connected to the core of who you are. Of course, this yellow sphere could easily be referring to or connected to your third chakra, which is your ego, your will. It's your persona, your personality, right? So who are you really? You know, what are your qualities? The beast, though, the ear came out. So there's something here too about listening. Listening. There's curiosity and listening. So what I get here is that you're still very quiet. I think this week you are coming up and out, but you're curious and you're investigating perhaps. You're looking, but you're listening. You're keeping your eyes peeled. You're keeping your ears peeled. You're listening. You're aware. You're wanting to receive information, data, See, the interesting thing too, everybody, is that we have these two pink aspects to the organic process here. What I get to, I have to tell you, because this organic process is leading to the head of this beast, okay? This whimsical beast. And the organic process is going down, right? That's what it was doing. So let's say whatever chapter you've been in, whatever Mahadasha process you've been going through, whatever progressed natural growth process you've been going through, this could have been for a 3-year period, for God's sake. This could have been for a while, okay? It has been correct for you. It's part of your natural, organic, evolutionary process. It has been a deep dive. You've been going in, working, feeling into the past, issues of your childhood, your family dynamics, and your upbringing, but also the truth of your stories, the ones that you hold intrinsic to your natal blueprint. So you've been going in this organic process, possibly for some of you for the last 3 years, some of you possibly for the last 3 decades, who knows. But the 2 here, especially with pink, indicate the number 2 in the tarot, which is, the high priestess here. This is about the receptivity of the human condition, the receptivity. So it's about, psychic functioning and tapping into the etheric through the tool, utilizing the tool of the mind as a receptive tool. The 2, especially with pink, indicating perhaps feminine. Pink also can, of course, represent the heart. Just like green can, so can pink. And so there's something here, too, about opening the heart, getting curious, listening, being more receptive, tapping into your high priestess, allowing your organic process to just hold its truth and its function and honor it. There's no negating it. There's no dissolving it. It is what it is. It's correct and it's functional. So there is gold, but you are coming up. You're getting ready. And the interesting thing is the tree is here on the slope in the background. So the tree is fully green. This is spring in full blossom. This might be mid-May. This might be in May, let's call it. But it's like you're preparing this week for things that you want to see come to fruition in May. It's not that it's easy going, okay? Why? Because this is on an angle. It's on a slant. This tree is on a slant, okay? But the tree has root systems, and the tree is going to be just fine on the slant. But you're going to notice that the eyes are actually kind of aiming up toward the tree. I think this week you're listening and you're attending. You're psychically tuning into what is true for you as an individual person, for your future. I think for the next couple months out, there's still going to be challenge, and you can do it, right? But you're listening. I think you're keeping your eyes and ears wide open. Very good. I mean, that's what I have to say. All right. Okay, everybody. I wish you all a wonderful week ahead. I'll have more next week. I hope this was helpful for you. And until next week, I send you lots of love. Bye-bye.